Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Reminder, Is It Just Me? Coming up about 2-3 segments from now. You can take part. Text us at 604-200-9494 into the Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox. NHL analyst, co-host of the Bob McCown podcast, John Shannon, joins us now as he does every Thursday. John, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I am great, Donnie. Hello, Rick.
Hello, sir. John, the Carey Price situation, you are an NHL insider. Did you have any inkling? We knew about the physical problems. Did you have any inkling about the mental health issues?
Absolutely not. And based on listening to Marc Bergevin a couple of hours ago, he had no indication until yesterday. Mm-hmm. And that's how timely this is that something obviously very personal, which we don't know, and it would be incorrect to speculate, that he has taken himself out of commission for at least 30 days.
Yeah. Speaking of goaltenders, and I'm not connecting these two things, John, but Robin Lehner's Twitter rant, he talked about painkillers and sleeping aids and all of that. What have you heard or what have you noticed when it comes to NHL teams and painkillers? And the other subject that got brought up with Lehner's rant is sleep. How much of an issue is that with National Hockey League players?
I can tell you, I know nothing of the painkillers. I can't speak to that at all. But what I can tell you is that I think Ambien has been on the radar of the National Hockey League for a long time. I think there has been great concerns about how it's dispensed and how it's used by players, particularly when you think about you play a game at 7 p.m. at night. You're absolutely totally involved. The adrenaline is flowing. And next thing you do is you're getting on a charter airplane and flying 3 hours. And by the time you get there with time changes potentially, it's 5 a.m. and you're supposed to get to sleep and get good 5 or 6 hours, good quality sleep before you go for the morning skate. And those are concerns. I think that Ambien, which is, let's face it, relatively available to all of us, is a concern. It's one of those things. Overall, on the Lehner issue, and maybe connecting it a bit to what happened in Montreal today, I think it's just an indication that every once in a while we have the realization that hockey players, professional athletes, people we put on pedestals, are regular people like us, have the same problems that we have have family issues, children that keep them awake. Particularly, these guys are young, have young families. They have marital issues. They have financial issues. They are not much different than us, and we try to distill them into being comic book heroes. And sometimes what we've heard and seen in the last couple of weeks with Evander Kane, with Carey Price, with Robin Lehner, is just to me a resetting of the dial to say, okay, these guys are real people. Maybe we should cut them some slack. Maybe we should not be so concerned with what social or anti-social media says about them, and move on and enjoy what they do on the ice.
When it comes to the sleep issue and travel, John, you like myself and Rick, we've all traveled following NHL teams or with NHL teams. And whenever I've done that in the past, I've always said to myself, this is really tough, like changing time zones. You just talked about trying to get sleep, and we're not playing hockey. Have you noticed that when you've traveled in the past?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been, I've had the good fortune of traveling with a great many hockey clubs and the Toronto Raptors, and it's no different in the NBA. Though there are issues when it comes to maintaining some sort of rhythm for your body, and it's difficult. And that doesn't take into account the toll that actually playing the game puts on your body. We all laugh about stubbing our toe and then it throbbing all night. And these guys, they've got parts of their body throbbing all the time, all the time. And we expect them to sleep and we expect them to compete tomorrow night. And again, it's something that I think the last couple of days has given us some realization.
John, just before we turn things over to Rick here, some news regarding Jonah Gadjovich. We'll get to that.
Picked up by San Jose,
Picked up by San Jose. I don't know how familiar you are with this player, John, but your reaction to that.
Well, this is what's going to happen when you start having some of your prospects, some of your young players getting to the point where other teams are going to need them. San Jose's, as you guys know, is in in my opinion, a complete rebuild. And when you get somebody as astute as Tim Burke, who's the head of their scouting department and probably knows Gadjovich better than his father does, then you're going to say if he's been made available, then there's something there. So at a certain point, and again, Rick brought it up in the last segment about I'd be shocked if Levy goes through. I really would. I mean, somebody will say they see something in him, just like somebody saw something in Gadjovich in San Jose.
Yeah, no, good point for sure there, John. Pettersson, Hughes done, John, probably a little later than everybody hoped, but talk a little bit about they're in the lineup tonight against Edmonton, but what a big relief in Vancouver.
And by the time we get to next Monday or Tuesday, we will have forgotten that they held out. That's the bottom line. We know they've been skating. That we know that the deal was imminent. To me, what it does do is it puts and sheds another light on what preseason is all about, and do we really need a preseason, and is there a point at some point in this CBA cycle do we talk about, is there a way to shorten preseason? Can we get it down to 4 games? Can we get it down to 3 games? And then try to find a way to spread the season out so we're not complaining about a compacted schedule when we get into December and January as the team's going to take 17 days off for the Olympics.
John, any news do you have on Travis Hamonic that you could pass along or what you know of the situation?
Again, I think that the privacy issues, and I think the Canucks have handled it really well. The privacy issues of what Travis is going through is something that, in trying to deal with people around Travis, they're very tight-lipped as well. So you're just not hearing anything, and you're just you're just tapping your foot, sitting, waiting, and respecting the process that Travis and his family are going through.
Yep, absolutely.
John, before we let you go, TSN has released its list of the top 50 players in the National Hockey League. McDavid for the 5th straight year, number 1. How much do you think players care about that list? They say they don't.
Zero.
Okay.
Agents do. Agents care. Fans care. Steve Dryden at TSN does an amazing job. Steve Dryden started doing these type of lists way back when he was the editor at the Hockey News. Steve Dryden does an amazing job of trying to gain some level of consensus to do exactly what we're doing, talking about the game, talking about the players and what makes them tick. And the good news for me is, as we look across 32 teams, not 31 anymore, but 32 teams, there's a heck of a lot more than 50 good players in this league. And I don't think hockey, this style of hockey, has been any better than we've seen in the last little while, particularly through the pandemic, and we're going to see through this huge schedule.
John, thank you so much. You could teach Farhan a lesson.
I was ready to talk about the Patriots. I was ready to talk about anything. And Farhan, I could do Farhan's job. Come on.
No, nobody can do that. It's impossible. You did just fine, though, John.
I didn't say I'd do it well.
Okay.
I just said I could.
Next Thursday. Thanks, John.
Yeah, boys. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you too, Johnny.
Same to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.